During these rugged times on Earth, are you trying to get some good rest? And then your goal was to go to bed early. And then you did. And all of a sudden you woke up at 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And you're just like, but my goal was to stay asleep and to go to bed early. So I should be staying asleep, right? Correct. But during these times that you wake up, you may be feeling a little misaligned. You may be feeling a disruption because it's so quiet during those times. What if I told you it's your higher self, your spirit guides, trying to get your attention to convey to you a message, an awareness, an awakening to assist you on your journey? I guarantee you, if you stay to the very end, not only will you understand why you wake up at these certain times, but I guarantee you, you will finally trust in the fact that there's something beyond the physical that does have your best intentions. What is Gooch Gooch, you beautiful awakened one? Itchy. Anywho, what is going on, my beautiful awakened ones? Welcome back on another episode on Embracing Ascension series with your homegirl, Brittany Fontanez. I am an intuitive shaman, healer, and reader. On this channel, I speak about spirituality with compassion, emotional awareness with love. I do guided readings for each zodiac sign, and I talk about things I feel need to be talked about because it's our divine right to know more than what we have been told. And if you want to know all my business inquiries, my readings, my merch, my healing course, all that information is down in the description box below. But other than that, beautiful beings, I just want to jump right into this because it's rugged times. It's rugged times on planet Earth. But it's a good rugged times because we decided to come back onto this planet. We decided to be brave enough to make a decision to tell God, divine, whatever you want to believe in. Yes, I will sign this contract and I will come back onto Earth and I will forget everything about why I signed this contract in order to come on this planet and to remember the reasoning why I came onto this planet. Now, what does this have to do with anything waking up at 1, 2, 5? What does it have to do with anything? Wow, I really skipped the whole entire process of 1 through 5. Anywho, but what is the whole purpose of this? Well, when we come onto this planet, we do forget everything that we're not only taught, but forget everything of why we came back onto this planet. And yet when we come onto this planet, we get so caught up in the duality of it that all of a sudden we start to believe that we have no guidance. We start to believe that we're here for no reason. We start to believe that there's nothing that's looking out for us. But what if I told you that during your sleep, REM times, the quiet times, is where your spirit guides, your loved ones, your ancestors really could tap into you much more better than on a conscious way of being in life? And what if they're here during those times to assist you in order to help you be able to flow in the ease of your conscious way of living? Now, today, we're going to dive into why is it that you wake up at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? What are the meanings behind it? What are they trying to share with you? Physically, mentally, and spiritually. And I guarantee you, when you understand these concepts, you will really understand that not only the spiritual realm has your best intentions in mind, but you will actually cultivate a better relationship with yourself so you can start trusting yourself, start trusting your journey, and start to awaken to your remembrance. Now, let's get into it. I had to write some notes. And now remember, I've experienced all of these, and I want you guys to remember this journey is a process. And sometimes it takes us a while to learn the lesson in order to go to the next level of ourselves, of our potential, of our divinity, to really understand our power. And it's always going to reoccur. It's always going to reoccur. We're always going to have to dive deeper. We may have learned a lesson, but I guarantee you, whatever lesson you learn, there's a deeper meaning behind it every single time, hence like a spiral. Because there's always something deeper to learn about something. So it is a process, and you will always be cycling through these times. I've had my spiritual awakening, I would have to say, in 2014. And no matter what, you guys, I still go through the process of having spiritual awakenings, of continuously ascending, because it's all a journey of leveling up. It's all a journey of remembering. It's all a journey of going back to your original origin, which is your divinity, which is your power. What does divinity mean? It means the power that resides within you. That's where God is. That's where heaven is. And that's how you could bring it on to earth. Hence, fill out your contract. Hence, meaning that you are becoming the example of why you came back onto this planet and what you're here to express through your uniqueness and authenticity. But other than that, let's get into it. Okay, so the reason why I want to explain something to you before we get into why is it you wake up at these certain times. Your body is the vessel where God resides. And understand that the spiritual realm made your body. So it's perfect. It's perfect the way that it is. But it will signal to you anytime when it's out of alignment and what needs to get back into alignment. Now, there's 4 meridian parts within the body. But there are only 12 meridian points that signal to the same 24-hour clock time. So pretty much each meridian, the 12 meridians in the body, will actually be signaled within a 2-hour frame each day. That is the primary time of when it's being activated. And those points of the meridian body within you are actually signaling to you what is going on within your body. What are you picking up? And what is it that is blocking it or activating it or overstimulating it? Now, the meridians are the points within the body, hence, like you would say, the chakras, the certain glands within those chakras that are actually cultivating our emotions, cultivating our way of being, cultivating what keeps us not only alive, but what keeps that personality still residing within us. Now, let's get deeper. Next page. Always gotta come with some assistance. Now, since the meridians process each emotions within our body and our experience, basically every hour that you keep waking up can tell you what is out of alignment. And like I said in the beginning, that is the pivotal point when it's so silent, that it gives the spiritual realm a time with you to really understand yourself on a deeper level and to cultivate a better relationship. This is why you have a lot of big people that say they meditate around 3 or 4 a.m. and they meditate at night like I do, which I'm really getting into actually night times. And it's because those are the important pivotal moments with yourself, with divine, with your guides, because we all come with spiritual guidance on this planet. That's why we need to start remembering and believing again, because we don't come here by ourselves. We never do. So please remember that. But if you keep waking up at these certain times, especially during the times of 3 to 5 a.m., you are going through a spiritual awakening. But we get into that a little later on. Now, let's get into why is it that you wake up at 1 a.m. Now, physically, you may be having issues with your heart, with the circulation within your heart or your gallbladder. Now, I actually agree with this because recently, like I said, it's a process. You're always going to keep recycling because you're emptying out, you're releasing, you're purging. Now, I've experienced this too, where I woke up 1 a.m. Actually, not too long ago. A few months ago, I kept waking up at like 3 a.m. every fucking morning. I couldn't understand it, but now I do. But recently, I woke up at 1 a.m. and I literally woke up and I felt like bubble guts. Bubble guts. I didn't have to use the bathroom, but I heard my process of my body digesting whatever it's in there energetically. And in the process of hearing it, I kept hearing like gutterings, you know, the burping within your body. I kept hearing that. I know that sounds a little gross, you don't think I'm lying. But this is what we go through. I kept feeling that. And I kept hearing it. And I knew there was a disruption. And that is the whole point of why your body is singling you at these certain moments in time while you're sleeping to wake up, because there is a disruption going on within these meridian points within your body. Now, since You wake up at 1 a.m. You may be feeling issues with circulation around your heart and your gallbladder. Now, the mental reason why you're waking up at this time is because you're struggling to process your place in life. You're struggling to feel safe. You're worrying way too much on how you're going to make a living. What is your capabilities upon this planet? Turn the page. Want to work with me. You're having problems focusing on your next step moving forward. And you might be struggling with issues regarding your appearance and weight. Now, what does this have to do with 1 a.m.? Well, the number 1 actually associates with new beginnings. So this is a time where you're really reevaluating how you see yourself and how you process yourself in the world and how you want the world to see you. So it has everything to do with your weight, meaning your nourishment, your spiritual, your mental, your physical, your emotional nourishment. And it has everything to do with how you want to be perceived in this world. So the spiritual reason why you wake up at 1 a.m. is that you're in need of energy. You're giving more than you're receiving. And this probably has to do with problems receiving and resisting going with the flow. Hence, having circulation problems means you're resisting going with the flow. Does this make sense? So I hope it does. And because of this, you're depleting your own energy. And this has a lot to do with appearance, like I said, because your self-image is about thinking you're not worthy of receiving. So during these times of you feeling this, it could be because you don't know how to make yourself happy. And you're relying on ideas of goals and people's validation to make you happy because you haven't found your sense of place in life or with a connection with the universe. So during this time is a perfect time to reevaluate, what is my connection to the universe? What is my belief towards how the universe sees me and how I see myself in this world? And who do I want to be? And why is it that I don't feel happy? It's time to really ask yourself honest and deep questions. Because like they say, ask and you shall receive. Your soul has all the answers, but you first must ask the honest questions. Why is it that I don't feel happy? Why is it that I don't feel good enough? And how can I be self-reliant on myself? So that is those reasons, the physical, mental, and spiritual reasons why you wake up at 1 a.m. Now, let's get to why is it that you wake up at 2 a.m.? Now, physically, you may be experiencing issues with digestion relating to your small intestines or livers, which makes sense. That is the solar plexus. Maybe eating too much, drinking too much, or too little. Now, the solar plexus has to do with confidence. It has to do, that is literally where the small intestines are. That's literally where your stomach is. You're digesting life. Now, the solar plexus is all about confidence. You have the confidence to digest everything that comes into your life and actually transmute it into actually understanding what is the whole point of why you're currently going through what you're going through in order to level up. Now, the mental reason why you're waking up at 2 a.m. is because you have unresolved energy pockets that you're picking up, that you have picked up actually in early mid-childhood. When you were young, you were unable to process what was going on. And you may become avoidant or resistant to these circumstances in which they have arose. To this day, it's still impacting you. So mentally, the reason why you're waking up at 2 a.m. is because you still have things from your childhood that you haven't processed yet. You haven't digested. And because of this, you're still living with these beliefs of feeling like you can't move forward, of feeling like there's a trouble processing life, like you feel stuck. So the spiritual reason why you're waking up at 2 a.m. is because you need to resolve these old limiting inherited beliefs and ideas you have about yourself. Ain't that some deep stuff? Because our childhood is the moment where we can be a child, but some of us weren't able to really be a child. We had traumas. We probably had to grow up so quickly. We have responsibilities. And during this process of being a child, we see things that our subconscious mind picks up, and it actually stores it in our memory bank, and it actually uses it as a guide to protect us. But sometimes that memory that we so forget actually becomes a blockage within our adulthood. So the reason why you could be waking up at 2 a.m. because mentally you need to resolve why is it that you have these certain limiting beliefs that you picked up as a child that is blocking you on your pathway moving forward in adulthood. So since you picked up these before you were even conscious of what was happening, because most of us aren't conscious, we're kids, we're still in the process of learning, you need to relearn how to literally digest and process, properly absorb the lessons that are offered. And I do have a way to do this in the most easiest way possible. I have a breath work I'm going to leave right up here, which helps you go throughout each chakra, and it helps you breathe into it, but also feel safe and connected to your reality. And in the process, you allow the emotions to come up, because breath work is the easy way to allow those energy pockets, those energy blockages to come to the surface, be felt, be realized, be healed, and then released. And feeling is healing because you cry, you feel that anger, you feel that the sadness, you feel all these certain emotions, and when you feel, you release. So now, that is the spiritual reason why you wake up at 2 a.m. And during these times when you wake up at 2 a.m., it's a perfect time to really digest what is it that you don't like in your life currently that stems from your childhood. And then you could cultivate a connection with your inner child to explain what is it that you did not like as a child, and be honest with yourself. And being honest, being like, my parents could have done better. Be honest with yourself, because in the process of being honest with yourself, you are literally relearning how to parent yourself. You are relearning how to love that child that didn't receive the love that it needed in order to feel safe. So that is a perfect thing to do when you're waking up at 2 a.m. Now, let's get into why is it that you wake up at 3 a.m. The physical reasons. Well, before we get into it, I want you to understand that the number 3 is associated with the angels, and is the time when the angels are signaling to you. It's a perfect time to be in your fullness, to transmit all the love and the goodness that's within your essence as being a human, and also giving that to your fellow sisters and brothers. So number 3 is the alignment between mind, spirit, and body. And when those 3 are in alignment, you're in circulation and in flow with the whole universe to give your best, to be at your best, and to show your fullness and your wholeness. Now, when you add, this is very interesting. I want to add this into it, actually. When you add 3 plus 3 plus 3, the value of 9 indicates something wonderful is yet to come, and it will benefit you and your environment. I think that's so beautiful how that works. And the 333 means you are actually prepared to go beyond your limits and break down those barriers that prevent you from growing, and what you should associate with. And what you should associate with these numbers is actually your luck. Because when we're in alignment and when we're in flow, we feel lucky. We're naturally manifestors. So it's associated with luck. And it's a perfect time to fulfill every endeavor that you are fighting for, because you know it's your soul right to be and do what it is you're called to do. Now, the physical reasons why you're waking up at 3 a.m. is because you're having issues with your lungs. You're having the inability to breathe deeply, to be relaxed. And let me tell you guys, when it wasn't too long ago, I think about 3 months ago, I had this issue where I was waking up at 3 a.m. for the past month, I think month or 2 months straight. And when I was waking up, you guys, I couldn't breathe. It was to the point I just wanted to cry because I felt so anxious. I felt so fearful, and I did not know why. But as I started to really cultivate the messages that were coming through to my soul and really started to ask these deep questions, I was able to start breathing and properly, because a lot of us don't know how to breathe properly. We live in a society where people are breathing 4 times within each available 60 seconds. People are breathing about 14 times within 1 minute. That is full of anxiety. When within 1 minute, all we will have to do is take 4 to 5 deep breaths. That means we're in ease and we're in flow. There's a huge difference. So that is the physical reason why you're waking up at 3 a.m. is because your inability to breathe and feel relaxed. Like I said, I leave that breath work up there so you could try that. I do that every morning and it has changed my life. It has actually helped me actually feel so safe within my frame, meaning safe in being who I am, safe in my existence, just safe in my essence. Because the majority of the time, why we can't be present in this reality is because we don't feel safe within our being. We don't feel safe within our being because we have energy blockages that we have picked up as children that feel uneasy, that are holding that trauma, that are holding those limiting beliefs, that are holding that fear. So now let's get into the mental reason why you're waking up at 3 a.m. is because you're in need of guidance and direction. You're in need of guidance and directions. Like I said, the number 3 is associated in the connection with the angelic realm. So it's the perfect time where the angels are really trying to communicate with you. Now, the beginning of awakening, a lot is still very new to you. And number 3 is the beginning of aligning your truths and yourself to everything. Now, don't mind the background noise, you guys. I'm at the park. I'm really enjoying myself at this moment. And people are very nosy. Oh, that person has a dog. I'm being nosy. What am I talking about? Like, people are being nosy. I'm being nosy. All right. So since mentally everything is becoming new to you, you're waking up at witching hour, which is a very good time to receive information that you need. Now, witching hour doesn't have to mean, even though it's like the darkest before dawn, a lot of people want to say that's the devil's time to fuck with us. I'm going to be real honest with you. Witching hour pretty much presents that the spiritual realm is at its highest. It's where the thin is it's where the veil is very low and very thin at that current moment. No. Yep, got people being nosy. That was a little park right there. Alright. Now the spiritual reason why you're waking up at 3 a.m. is because, like I said, the veil is very thin between the dimensions. It's the lowest. Like when Halloween recently, the reason why Halloween is so potent is because that's when the veil is very thin. It's between the dead and the living. And it's a perfect time to connect with your loved ones, communicate with your spiritual guides that are actually trying to communicate with you. And possibly you're becoming more sensitive to subtle energies, your body, and it's waking yourself up. Because what's happening in your physical reality is trying to signal to you to stay awake and observe what is going on during this moment. I know I got a little caught up in that, but I get a little distracted when energies are around me. But during this time is where your spirit guides are trying to communicate with you. And during these times, the reason why they're trying to communicate with you because it's silent. It's the moment where you could really be with yourself. And a lot of us don't have a lot of time to be with ourselves because we're all caught up in work. We're all caught up in kids. We're all caught up in love. We're all caught up in our own distractions. But at nighttime is the time where you can cultivate a connection with the spiritual realm that really is trying to assist you. That's why it's waking you up at these times. So when you wake up around 3 a.m., stay awake. Ooh, this is so important. Stay awake. Don't go back to sleep because your guides are trying to signal to you. Like, for me, I've done this a few times where I woke up at 3 a.m. and I'll take a notepad and I'll literally ask God a question. How am I going to do this for my business? How can I let this go? How can I do this? And literally, whatever comes to my mind as I wake up, literally the veil is so thin when you wake up. When I ask those questions, I literally write down the answer and I go with that the next day. Little behold, something does manifest. And it's because I'm trusting the guidance that I am receiving at that time and not taking it for granted. Because during those times is where we can really connect to something bigger than ourselves, and that is the importance. We want to connect to something bigger than ourselves rather than what we are currently connected to that's probably not even assisting us moving forward on our journey. Now let's continue, because I know I was rampaging on number 3 because my life path is 3, so I just had to do that for a second. Now let's get into why is it that you wake up at 4 a.m. and I found this one very, very intriguing to me, to be quite honest, because the physical reason why you're waking up at 4 a.m. is you're having issues with your bladder. You're having issues with your body temperature. Your body temperature could be really hot or it could be really cold. And this is very intriguing because I have actually experienced this where I just get under the covers, I'm like, oh, I'm shivering, and then also I take a cover, I have to stick a foot out in order to get, a little bit of fresh air to get those shivers to cultivate with the heat. Now, the mental reason, don't mind the background noise, but the mental reason why you're waking up at 4 a.m. is because you're running on hot and cold in your present life, in your personal life at that. You have these moments of feeling unfulfilled, and then you have these moments of you're running into self-doubt. Ain't that some shit? We always are wishy-washy sometimes. We trust in the universe, we ask something to manifest, and all of a sudden we start to doubt it. So that is the reason probably why you're waking up mentally at 4 a.m. is because you need to dive into why is it that I feel so fulfilled one moment and then unfulfilled the next. And it's because, here's another reason why. It's because sideline, your self-doubt, you're cultivating a way where you're having so much self-criticism, and you're only connected to that self-criticism that is really cultivating more self-doubt. But here's the thing. When you're waking up at 4 a.m. and you're having these thoughts about why you're not feeling fulfilled and why is it that you're always wishy-washy with the universe and giving mixed signals, I want you to trust the process during this time. It will help you gain more balance and understand duality. Because mentally, duality, this is what we live in. We live in the duality world, the 3D. We live in a world where it's hot and cold, dark and light, bad and good, yin and yang. We need to cultivate balance, and we need to understand that in order to feel fulfilled, we have to come from a place that made us feel unfulfilled in order to have to get to the fulfillment. So we need both sides of the story. You know what I'm getting? You get what I'm saying? We need the sun, we need the moon, we need the ocean, we need the sky. We need all of this, but we need to create a balance within it so we can have a relationship with understanding that all of this is part of the process, and it's trusting it, because there's something bigger than yourself that's trying to share with you. This is a part of who you are. This is a part of your journey, but it will assist you on getting to better parts of your journey rather than descending. We're trying to ascend, not descend, boo-boos. Remember that. All right. Now, the spiritual reason why you are waking up at 4 a.m. is because, like I said, it's a period of ascending. You're rising. You're making great changes in your life. And as you usher in the new, this is the time that you really have to work on letting go. And that is tough. A lot of us have a tough time letting go because we live in a world where we're so caught up in the old, where the curriculum of schools are still of old decades, where the workforce is still in the old decades, where the political system is still in the old ways. So when you're on the spiritual journey at 4 a.m., the spiritual reason why you're waking up is because it's the perfect time that you want to cultivate how you're going to make changes in your life. How you're going to go from not feeling good to wanting to feel happiness. What is the reason why you're not feeling happiness? And what is the reason why what's going to bring you happiness within yourself? So I hope this is making sense so far, you guys. Now, last but not least, the most important one of all. And since I have actually been disciplining myself to waking up at 5 a.m. every single morning. Not on the weekends, though, because my Saturdays are for me. And Sundays are for, of course, my guides. So, the best way... Well, what was I saying? Yeah. I've been waking up at 5 a.m. every morning, and it has changed my life significantly. Not only that I've been able to do my meditations, have time for myself, have quiet time, I'm really starting to trust the process, really starting to trust the world, really starting to trust why is it that I exist, Now, my hair, man, my hair. My Leo ass, always worried about my appearance. Shit. Anyhow, yes, I'm a Capricorn sun, but I'm a Leo moon, so Lily is always caring about how I look, Mama, Alright. Now, the physical reasons of why you're waking up at 5 a.m. is because you're having issues with your large intestines and with your nourishment and diet. Now, like I said, I've been waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning. It's been changing my life changing my life because I feel like I have my whole day up ahead of me. I already got my routine done. Now it's just like I'm excited to go into what I'm going into, like doing my videos, doing my readings, doing my readings and doing my reading, reading a book. Now, the mental reason why you are waking up at 5 a.m. is because you may be oh wait, sometimes when I can't read my own damn handwriting, I need to start typing this shit out. Oh, this one's deep. So the reason why you probably could be waking up at 5 a.m. is because you're convincing yourself that you are not deserving of other people's love. Ain't that some shit? You think you're not deserving of other people's love or your own wellness. Ain't that some shit? So, you might be getting caught up in self-criticism, your critical frame of mind. You got to understand, when you're waking up at 5 a.m. mentally, it's a perfect time to embrace all the incredible things you have built for yourself. You need to let your garden feed you. This is why I explain this. I said this for a reason. Everything is relevant in a video. I wake up at 5 a.m. because it's a perfect time to nourish myself. It's a perfect time to be with myself. It's a perfect time to love myself. It's a perfect time to say my affirmations, to do my prayers, to give my gratitude. Because we're all rushing to a job. We're all rushing to do things we don't want to do. What about self? What about self? The self matters too in order to give to the world. So, now let's get into the spiritual reasons why you're waking up at 5 a.m. is because you're at your peak. And what I mean you're at your peak is meaning that you're making some very drastic changes in your life, which you have to realize that it's beautiful that you're making changes in your life mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically, because you have to understand when you're waking up at this time, you're being you have to give yourself recognition that you can actually give yourself the power to believe in what you want to believe in, and realizing that you could be self-sustaining and positive, and you could have all the things you desire, hence gratitude, visualization, perfect timings to do at that time, because the veil is so thin and you have no one disturbing you, and it's all about self before you have to go to your job, before you have to pay attention to your kids. So when you're waking up at this time spiritually, it's a perfect time to dive into what brings you joy and how to radiate that joy out of you. How to radiate the best out of you. When I worked a job, you guys, and I had my morning routines, and I was like trying to get into the process of waking up at 5 a.m. But when I did succeed at waking up at 5 a.m., what was beautiful is that when I go to work, I was so hyped. Was I excited to be at work? No. But was I grateful? Was I thankful? Did I want people to feel good? Did I say good morning? I had this one coworker, I'd be like, what up, my dude? And he looked so tired, he'd be like, what? Like, those moments, I just want to cry, because I realized how much I built for myself. I realized doing those very things, nurturing myself, allowing myself to trust the process, and being grateful, and cultivating my own authority of how I want to see myself and how I want to build my life, has really helped me radiate my joy to the world and to show up as my fullest. And that is a perfect time when 5 a.m., the spiritual reason why you're waking up at that time, is because it's a perfect time for you to be the authoritative figure of your life and how you want to rule it and run it and showcase it. Oh, say how it is, Spirit. All right. But this is also a perfect time to really cultivate a better relationship. This is going to sound weird. A better relationship with food and with people, and to allow that to completely nourish you, and to learn how to be completely present in the moment of your life, and realize how spectacular it is to enjoy the present moment, to enjoy food, to enjoy the people you're around. Because little do you know, when we don't allow ourselves to be the authoritative figures of our life, we allow our emotions to rule us. And our emotions are outdated because they're from energy blockages or things we haven't healed yet. So we start resenting life, we start resenting people, we start judging life, we start judging people, and in the process of judging and doing all of this, we're resisting with the flow of life. We're resisting our happiness, we're resisting our manifestation, the goodness of why God created us. So that is the reasons why you're waking up at these certain moments in time. The reason why you're waking up in these time frames in your life. Now, I want you to understand the deeper meaning of why you're waking up at these certain times is because it's a perfect time to question your reality, your capabilities. You're going to have intense realizations. You're going to have old issues from your childhood coming up to the surface to be resolved. You're feeling the need to be isolate yourself. You're considering the quality of your life and questioning how can you get your life together in the way where you feel fulfilled. And also understanding why is it that you can't let go of certain things. And you have to remember during these times, you have to trust what comes up, you guys, and take note of what is unresolved and what needs healing. Because your guides, the spiritual realm, is only waking up at these certain times because it wants to help you heal. It wants to help you let go. It wants you to be your best and to remember why you came back onto this planet, so you can remember your power, so you can remember your divinity. And I know I keep saying divinity. It may sound gay. You have a lot of people say divinity, divinity. I know it bothers me, like divinity. Do you really know what that means? To me, divinity means remembering the reason why God created you, connecting back to that inner heaven, which is of love, and bringing that heaven on earth. So other than that, you beautiful beings, those are the spiritual reasons, mental, physical reasons why you be waking up at 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. And I hope that all of this assists you not only to get better rest, boo-boo, but to also trust that there's something beyond you that has the best intentions to be your best and to live out the most beautiful life that you're divinely meant to live out, because it's your birthright to live in abundance and to possibly be all that you came here to be. So on that, you beautiful beings, I really hope this helped you. I really hope you enjoyed the view, and I really hope that this brings you clarity to understanding how you can become the ruler of your life again. But until then, I'll see you on the next one, and only love, boo-boos.